My name is Riska, and on behalf of IamExpat, I would like to welcome you to tonight's webinar. Tonight's webinar is Overcome the Challenges of Learning Dutch the F.A.S.T Way. And we are joined by Anita and Sophia tonight. Welcome, ladies. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hello.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, Riska.
Hi.
Hi.
Chef, thank you so much. I'm sure we held this webinar in October last. It did really well. We had a lot of questions. So I wish you all the best in the webinar again tonight, and I hope it's a success.
Thank you very much.
I'll be on the back end if you need me.
Sure, thanks.
Thank you.
So, hello, welcome everyone.
Hello.
My name is Sophia.
Hi, Anita.
So we're together tonight here to discuss how to overcome the challenges while you're learning Dutch. So I'm the creator of the F.A.S.T method. Aneta is the longest collaboration I have been having all these years. Aneta is a Dutch teacher responsible for the Dutch department of our school. And so are we ready to start, Aneta?
Yes, of course we are.
Okay, let's go.
Yes.
So we have our slides that will help us going through this webinar tonight. We start with the stereotypes around the learning of the Dutch language. So we say here it's a lie. Do you believe that older people learn more slowly than younger students because the brain's ability to learn weakens? Many people believe so. And according to our experience, it's a lie. Why? Because this happens, it's more difficult to learn when we are older. This happens because our minds are full of responsibilities, we have busy schedules, and if we compare with ourselves when we were 20 years younger or 10 years younger, then there is a difference in our lifestyle. But if you keep something from here, please keep that from what our experience as teachers says, we can still learn Dutch, since we speak for the Dutch language today, as easily or as in a difficult way as that would happen if we were younger. Please let us know what do you believe, because the question already popped up. What we need in order to learn as adults and as we get older is an adult-specific method, a method that fits our lifestyles and our needs. This means that the way we learn, what we learn, has to be relevant to our lives. And there must be we should have some flexibility when we learn, when we have classes. The material that we study has to be flexible and relevant to us. Keep this word, please, because I will use it a lot tonight. And we will also give examples in order that you understand further what we mean with that. A tailor-made method is also useful because at the very beginning, you need to learn, and mainly when you already live in the Netherlands, you need to learn the most necessary things, the most necessary vocabulary. So I have started with some letters that are part of the F.A.S.T method. We already said about the adult-specific characteristic, about the T, that is the tailor-made. Let's go on. Later on, we'll see the fundamentals as well, and how stimulating the F.A.S.T method is. But the second stereotype here is that Dutch is hard to learn. Is that true? Do you also believe the same? Please let us know. The answer for me is that it depends. If you speak German, if you speak English, if you speak other languages, it might differ from one person to the other. I have a friend who is German, he lives in the Netherlands, and he says that Dutch is German for kids. So Here we prepared 2 examples. What happens, what similarities you can spot if you speak English. So first, we have a text in Dutch, written in Dutch. Below, you have the same text written in English. We have highlighted the words that are so similar. If you take a look, same happens if someone is a German speaker, either a native German speaker or if you speak it as a foreign language. Please focus on the similarities while you're trying to learn Dutch. You already speak English. Your mother tongue might be a different one. So focus on what you understand first. And don't let your mind focus on the differences and on the difficulties, on the challenges. Not at the first step. At the beginning, encourage yourself to recognize what is recognizable for you. So here is the main part that starts, the main part of our webinar, where I will invite my colleague Aneta to help us. It's about the challenges of the Dutch, of every Dutch student, and please let us know what is the biggest challenge for you. It will be useful to present the following webinar in a more accurate way if we can do so according to what you as learners need. So let's see, what is the first challenge mentioned here? Many people say, I cannot pronounce or I can't pronounce au, I can't pronounce u, some diphthongs that are pronounced differently if you compare with the English language. Aneta, I will invite you to go on here because you know better how to pronounce these words better than me.
Yes, of course. The first one, Groningen. Well, very hard. Groningen. Gisteren. Pagina. Vrijdag.
Vrijdag. So we have a repetition of the same sound since we have the same letter there, the G.
Yeah, vrijdag.
That's why we say that if you pronounce a word, you pronounce them all.
Yes.
What about this one?
Huis. Muis. Uit. En wat is de uitspraak, de pronunciation of the last one, Sophia?
Juist, toch?
Juist. Heel goed, ja.
So since I see you and I repeatedly here and you pronounce it like au, I just do the same. Is it always like that? Au? When I see this diphthong?
Yeah. Huis, ui. Yeah, the ui.
Great.
It's a difficult one. In the beginning, it's difficult to learn.
Okay, because I speak French, maybe I can pronounce it a bit better than people who don't. But it's from what I saw, it's just a matter of practice.
Practice. Yeah.
And then?
Then we have the je, Jordan, ja, Jaap, Maarsen.
So what we do here is that we give examples, real examples, and we don't focus on the theory behind the repetition. Just the tip is to go through examples, repeat different words with the same sounds.
Yeah, je, Jaap. Yeah. And then we have the u. Yeah. Koe. Moe. Joepie.
Ah, okay. This is joepie, yeah.
And moeder.
Moeder.
Yeah, well, the rolling R. Moeder.
Moeder at the end. Okay, good. Yeah. So, what does the FAST method say, give as tips, as a main tip for the pronunciation? Talk to the window. So, this is really my tip. I will make it, sometimes it sounds a bit funny, but what I mean with talk to the window is the following. For example, before we had the words koe, moeder, it was Maarsen, Jaap. I have to find a spot in my office, in my room, in the place where you study, when you study Dutch, in order to practice. in order to speak out loud, and for me, it's that wall there or that window there. For example, cool, moeder, oh, juist. And you will see later when we will be in a text and we will have longer words to pronounce. It's very useful if you pronounce them out loud, because this is what will happen in real life. You will need to pronounce and read things out loud. So just practice loudly. We're not used to that. We are used to read things, so we think we prepare them, even if we have a class that's following tomorrow, we think that we study. But if we don't prepare our speaking, if we don't practice and activate the muscles around the mouth, we just lose time doing it only during the lesson. Keep this tip. We'll come back again to that later. Another challenge here, Aneta, very long words.
Yes.
So can you help us? Because they're really long.
Studentenhuisvesting.
So what's the strategy here? What do we do here?
It's better to cut the word in pieces. First, the first one, studentenhuisvesting, when it's a very long word.
And this very first example is the word that I learned like that, talking to the window, studentenhuisvesting. So if you understand each one of them, the three words that compose this final long word, then you can learn how to pronounce it. You can learn what it means.
Yeah. So it is studentenhuisvesting, kinderbijslag.
Kinderbijslag, kinderbijslag, ja.
Nazomerweekend.
Nazomerweekend.
Koekenbakker.
Koekenbakker.
Vindingrijkheid.
Vindingrijkheid. I'm the learner, guys, okay? I'm the learner and I'm practicing so as to show you, to encourage you to do the same.
Vindingrijkheid. And then luchtvaartmaatschappijen.
These last words are really difficult for me and I haven't practiced them at all. I will do it now live to see how difficult it is and I will share how I feel, okay? For example, this last word that you pronounced, Aneta, luchtvaartmaatschappij. Can you repeat that for me?
Ja, luchtvaartmaatschappijen.
Maatschappijen. So I find the last one difficult, so I repeat it. Maatschappijen. Maatschappijen. So I take them piece by piece, one by one, and then at the end I will just put them together. Lucht, okay, this is easy for me. Vaart, and then the difficult one. Maatschappijen. Luchtvaartmaatschappijen. I see what is difficult for me, so I practice like that. If I don't read it out loud, I'm not going to practice anything, and then during the lesson or during the real life conversation, it will be really hard. That's why you need to talk to the window, to practice.
And the last one, arbeidsvoorwaarden.
Voorwaarden. Arbeidsvoorwaarden.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel great to me, the way I pronounce it, but at least I can just, as a beginner learner, I can just manage to read it all. And then I have you to help me, Aneta, to help me to improve the pronunciation of that, right? Okay. So what the FAST method says here for the pronunciation, work with whole texts. Don't only study words and lists of words, but find online articles or just take a letter that you all the time receive from the municipality, a letter that you receive at home, and just try to develop an understanding of reading it. Learn relevant vocabulary, relevant to your job, or if you're looking for a job, something that you will need in order to understand the postings, the job postings, or if you need to talk to your kids' teacher, for example, start learning things that are useful to you And then words like the fork and the knife and vocabulary that is not 100% useful tomorrow to you, just leave it for later. Except if you have a Dutch partner and you really need to speak, to use these words at home in Dutch. So I continue a bit more with how we deal with the grammar with the FAST method and why this can be interesting and useful to you. Not because you will apply 100% the FAST method when you learn Dutch, but because you can apply principles that we use with the FAST method in order to learn fast. The FAST method says analyze it and study it when you need it. For example, if you are going to meet a colleague on Monday, and he's going to ask, always, how did you spend your weekend? You know you'll be in need of the past tenses. It's at that moment that you need to learn, okay, how do I use past tense? How can I talk about my weekend? Not because a teacher or a method decided that, okay, today you will learn the past tense or another tense related to the past. When you need it, you're active and your mind is looking for solutions. How can I express myself to talk about my past? Here, after that, it says causative phrases. For example, when I want to say, I did something because, this is a causative word, a causative sentence. We usually learn this at the A2 level, or the second level. But if you need it earlier, just do it. Just focus on what you need when you want to speak. The second tip here is something from my experience again. Some teachers disagree with that. Check if it helps you. Translation to your mother tongue can help, or translation to the English language when you learn Dutch. Because I already mentioned the causative phrases and the word because, I have 3 examples here. Normally in English, we say, I love living in the Netherlands because there are many flowers there. It's just a very simple example. Or I want to learn Dutch because it will be useful to me. But if I wanted to speak Dutch, the way I would say that is because many flowers there are, because useful it will be. So the verb goes to the end, Aneta, right?
Yes, always. Yes.
So I just say it in English because it will help me to remember that. It sounds strange in English, and this helps me to remember. If your mind is also helped by that, just keep this. And then everything in good time. Don't rush. The adult minds have many questions. When you're beginners, focus on the main things, focus on the general understanding and speaking of the language, and later on you will go to details. So fundamentals base is the F from the FAST method. It starts with the generic knowledge, moving on to the details when the time is right. Again, don't rush. And my example is with the verb ik ben. So the infinitive of the verb ik ben in Dutch is zijn, like is to be in English. But if I want to introduce myself and say ik ben Sophia, I don't first need to go through zijn, ik ben, but just ik ben, just very practical. And then later on, I will learn the infinitive. Many people are like developers, mechanic engineers, and you're not teachers. You don't know all these infinitive, causative words, and you don't need this terminology in order to just start speaking Dutch. Focus on the practical part of it. How to introduce myself? Ik ben Sophia. Okay, the stage is again yours, Aneta. With the articles, how do you teach the articles and to make it easier for people?
Yes, when we want to learn the students the article, we use it also always in plural. And de katten, de vrouwen, de slangen, de koekjes.
So, is it always the article de when you have plural?
Yes. Right. In plural, we always have the article de. The pronunciation is de.
Great. But I see that there are other moments also with which nouns do we also use de?
De. We also use words that end in heid, ing, I, ar, ant, I.
Oh, too many suffixes.
Ja, like de moeilijkheid, de apartheid, de bakker, de trainer, de vergadering, de ervaring. Then words for people and professions. De bakker, de politieagent, de zanger, de vriend, de vrouw, de man.
So you categorize somehow the nouns in order to help me remember the article, right?
Yes, when we use de.
And then the article het.
Het for sport and games. Het voetbal, het ballet, het tennis.
Nice. It sounds easy.
And yeah, diminutives. We use it a lot in the Dutch language. Het mannetje, het koekje, het schaapje. And with infinitive. Het eten, het lopen, het spelen.
Nice. You can learn in practice with no theory, no much theory, when you have your ears and eyes wide open. So Chris Lonsdale, if you want to just write his name on YouTube, he's a professor. I'm not sure if he's Australian or American, but he's an English speaker who learned Chinese in 6 months. His TED Talk is really interesting. If you're interested in seeing how to apply these principles and how he did it, he didn't work with the FAST method. We call it FAST method, but it's the same things, the same principles that he applied because they come from science. And he learned Chinese, that is really considered, and it is a difficult language. And he's an English speaker, a native one. That means that he didn't have many experiences with the foreign languages in the past. He says that when we start understanding what we read and hear, we start acquiring the language unconsciously. But you have to pay attention to what you read or what you hear. If you're in the metro, if you're in the train in the Netherlands, if you start paying attention, you will start recognizing words. If you start reading some online articles or the Belastingdienst letters, the tax company's letters, you will start familiarizing yourself. And if you try to understand them, you will start acquiring the understanding of the Dutch language. Believe in you, believe in your teacher and the methods that you decide finally to trust, because the psychological condition matters. If you're active, if you say, okay, I will try that for a month, or I want to learn Dutch in a certain period of life by investing a certain amount of time and effort, just trust it. Just stay active there. It has to be stimulating to keep you active. How the journey begins. This is a trial lesson. This is the last part of our webinar. So what do we do here? Okay, after that, or during the trial lesson that we'll try to have here, you will experience the FAST method in action. You will acquire a general understanding of the structure of Dutch because you will be in touch with 2 texts and you will start learning fast. The unfortunate thing here is that you cannot, unfortunately, speak and try to pronounce out loud, try to translate things that we will ask you to do, but feel free to do it like loudly at your place. I will play the role of the learner, and Aneta is, of course, the teacher. So we have the first article here. Aneta, would you like to tell us what's about?
Of course, I will read it for you. Nederland kan zich opmaken voor een warm nazomerweekend met hoge temperaturen. Zondag tikt het kwik in sommige delen van het land zelfs de 25 graden aan. Regen is naar verwachting in geen velden of wegen te bekennen, voorspelt Wilfred Jansen van Weerplaza dinsdag.
And what do you ask us to do?
Now you will check if you understand some words. You recognize some words. If we have at home when we start the courses, we ask you to translate in English first, but now it's not possible. So you will try to recognize some words.
Mm-hmm.
Know a little bit now what I was reading about.
Okay, I'm sure that the people who are here have already started trying to recognize some words. Because I can be heard, I can speak here, I will try to play that role. And I will share what I really understood the first time I saw this. So Nederland is it Netherlands. Kan zich opmaken, kan zich is the verb can. Mm-hmm. Zich opmaken, no idea, but maken reminds me of make. I don't know if it's related, we will see. Nederland kan maken voor een warme. This word for, I thought at the beginning it was like voor, so it didn't make any sense. But when I hear you saying for, it's like the word for in English. And warm, warm, because warm is written warm, like it's exactly the same in English. Na zomer weekend, weekend is the weekend. Zomer, I learned later that it's a summer. Mm-hmm. So I only need to learn what na is, because summer weekend, I understand. Na zomer weekend, but I know now that na means after. Yeah. After summer weekend, so maybe we're in September here or in August, so we're talking about a weekend after summer. Met hoge temperaturen. Temperaturen, I know this is plural, so it's temperatures. Hoge. High temperatures. So this first sentence, biggest part of it, I can understand it. Mm-hmm. Netherlands can do something for a warm weekend with high temperatures. So I start understanding things and I go on, even if it's not perfect. Later on, I can use Google Translate, I can use any help, but first I try to understand myself. It keeps me active. It makes me starting seeing how it works, how a sentence is formulated. Zondag tikt het week in sommige delen. That's very difficult at the beginning. Zondag. What if we tell you that Zondag is a day, one of the days of the week?
Yeah.
Which one is it?
Zondag is Sunday.
Sunday. Mm-hmm. Then the rest, I find it really difficult until land. I understand the word land from English. Then 25 graden, it's like grades, degrees, maybe. Regen is naar verwachting. Verwachting reminds me of wait, to wait.
Yeah, or expectation. Yeah,
expectation to wait something. Or maybe I thought like that when I saw the translation of the word. When I saw that verwachting means expectation, I thought like, yeah, it's going like waiting something. I found a small similarity there, and this is the way it stayed in my memory. I retained that. Voorspeld, Wilfred Jansen van dinsdag. Dinsdag is another day of the week. Dinsdag, like zondag, because dag is the day.
Yes.
Monday, Tuesday. So dinsdag, which day is it?
Tuesday.
Okay, so at the beginning of the text, I can understand words, then it's more difficult. But we want to show here how we work with that before just directly going to Google Translate. You need to try a bit, to struggle with yourself to get into that, and then take the help that you need in order to translate.
Yes, try to recognize words, maybe you need to think, yeah. You activate your knowledge, and you remember the words better after.
And maybe some people, I don't speak German. If someone here speaks German, I would be really interested in learning if there is a word that is similar to German so that they recognize it from the German language. It's very possible. It's very possible. And from my knowledge of Spanish, French, and English, I don't recognize other words, and Greek, because I'm Greek. But someone else might recognize other words different than me as learners. We compare ourselves. And then a second activity, Spreekuefeningen.
Yeah.
What should we do here?
This one is really for the pronunciation. And of course, when we have the lessons, you practice before. Here it is, you will read out loud and fluently in Dutch.
And fluently, as beginners. Do you want us to read it fluently as beginners?
Yes.
Okay, it's possible. That's why you want that.
Yeah. So I will read it for you. This one is a little bit more difficult than the other one.
Okay.
Beleggers hebben de studentenhuisvesting ontdekt. De afgelopen 5 jaar investeerden commerciële partijen meer dan €1 miljard in studentenwoningen. Dat bedrag is nog hoger als de aankopen worden meegerekend die ze deden in samenwerking met ideële studentenhuisvesters als corporatie Duo en de stichting SSH.
Okay. So what I should do as a student or a learner here, I have to read it out loud. I will use the talk to the window strategy to start. I will see what is challenging for me, what is easier, and I will focus on what I have to improve, what I have to work. Let's see. Beleggers hebben de studentenhuisvesting. That was a difficult word for me at the beginning, so I break it down. Studentenhuisvesting. Beleggers hebben de studentenhuisvesting ontdekt. Okay, I'm going on. If I want to just record my voice, I can also do it and then listen to that afterwards. De afgelopen 5 jaar. Now I have read this text before, so I feel a bit comfortable with that. But for you who read this text for the first time, just give it a bit more time, but read it out loud. Try, make mistake, and then correct yourself. If you don't have a teacher in front of you to correct you, but you want to practice that by yourself, you can open Google Chrome, and there you can use the microphone to start pronouncing words. You will laugh if it's not written correctly, but if it's written correctly, it means that it's recognizable the way you pronounce it. You will feel well and you will go on. If you don't know how to pronounce a word, just write it down on Google Translate and listen to that word, and then try to pronounce it. Open the microphone and read it. You can work by yourself before going to your lesson, or many people just study without any teacher, without any help. So this is a way to start practicing the muscles around the mouth, start feeling the challenge and improving. What else we want here to underline, I think, Aneta, is about the similarities of how some words are pronounced.
Yes.
Can you give us some examples?
Yes, we have here, for example, corporatie.
Corporatie, where is that? At the end. Corporatie.
Yes, corporatie. The pronunciation in most part of the Netherlands, they pronounce it like tsi.
Like politie.
Politie, vakantie.
Vakantie.
Yeah. So this is one in the beginning then that you have to get used to. Politie. Like in Belgium, they don't pronounce it, they say corporatie. They don't pronounce the C, but in the Netherlands, they do.
In Flemish, there are some differences, right?
Yes, also with G, yeah. Stichting, when we have the N and the G together, we don't really pronounce the G. Stichting.
Stichting.
Yeah.
And in which other word can I see that in this text? Stichting is the last word?
Yeah, the first one is studentenhuisvesting.
Huisvesting,
Yeah.
the first line.
Studentenwoningen.
Where's that?
In the middle. Studentenwoningen.
Woningen. So we're talking about the NG.
G. Yes, from the combination, we don't really pronounce the G.
Woningen.
Yeah. Woning. Yeah, woningen. Samenwerking.
Just below.
Yes.
Samenwerking. So you have a repetition there. Huisvesting, studentenwoningen, samenwerking, and stichting.
Samenwerking, stichting. Yeah. So when we have the combination, we don't really pronounce the G. Yeah.
Okay. And I see one more with commerciële. How do you pronounce that?
Commerciële, yeah.
Commerciële.
Commerciële.
And then
sorry?
And then ideële?
Yeah, ideële, because the E and the E together is an E, commerciële. If we don't put the dots on it, we will the pronunciation will be wrong. Then it's better. Then you have to pronounce them separate. EA, and it's the same with ideële. Otherwise, you will read like a long A. Zee, for example. Yeah. Commerciële. Yeah. So you have to pronounce them separate because the E and the A together, it's an E, like here.
Good. So when we have diphthongs that are repeated in a text, once you learn how one word is pronounced, you can just apply the same thing at the other word too. I'm a learner who I don't have a high level in Dutch, but even if you give me now a text that I don't know what it means 100%, I can read it decently because I learned the pronunciation like that at the beginning. It's important to understand the meaning of the phrase in order to know where to put the intonation, the emphasis. But there is something that makes it easy for us to learn pronunciation, that things are repeated. This happens in French as well. I'm a French teacher. When you take different examples like ku, mu, mude, how a diphthong is pronounced in a word, it's usually pronounced like that in the majority of the words who have this diphthong. Doesn't happen in English, in the English language, it's very different. But in languages like Dutch and French, it happens a lot. So that was our trial lesson. You didn't have the opportunity to participate. I played the role of the student here, of the learner. I'm really curious to hear feedback after a while from your side, how you experienced that, what was useful from what we just did with Aneta. Let's go to the last part of the webinar, and then your questions are and comments are really welcome to interact. Here we want to close by saying that the FAST method needs 36 teaching hours to bring you from being a beginner to the B2 level, while the traditional method requires 490 hours. I'm talking about teaching hours and about what the common European reference of languages requires. FAST method is for you, and the principles that we discussed today, if you have a clear why you're motivated to learn fast, and if you prefer learning through practice, through real conversations, for example, online articles, and not textbooks. The comparative advantage of this method is that people usually need 2 to 4 years to learn it as adults, but we do it in 6 months. I'm proud to say that the last 7 years that we are here, we have worked with more than 500 students. And this is a big amount of students, because we only have private lessons and small groups of lessons, like 2 or 3 people max, in order to be able to reach between 6 months. And this is a recent review from one of our students. He says that after a while, it becomes natural because you practice a lot and you feel like you're not disconnected from your environment anymore. He says the best part is when you realize you're not in a foreign place anymore, because you can finally understand what's happening around you. That's why I'm encouraging you to try to keep your ears open when you're outside the society, but also to practice a lot. And it's a more secure way to practice when you are at home, when nobody can hear you, than just being innocent and believing that you will feel confident going to the supermarket and interacting. Practice comes first. Book your trial lesson today and experience how fast real progress feels. So I want to encourage you to have a trial lesson. If you found something interesting, something that can help you learn, it will be a 30-minute call with Aneta. So you will experience how it feels to learn with the FAST method. And I can also dare to say that after this real trial lesson, because today you didn't have the opportunity to really interact, after that, you will have understood how it works. You will have felt a difference because you will be speaking during the lesson. Here, this slide helps me to remind you that many companies offer educational programs, budget for education, in order that employees learn Dutch. So I'm really wondering if you're aware of such offers in the company where you might work. If not, ask your HR, because we have many people who learn with us without paying for the course. It's the employers who pay, because everyone in the Netherlands wants us to integrate, and they offer courses. Important to mention here that for the inburgerings exam, because many people need it, you need 3 months in order to go to sit the exams if you're beginners. First month is for the A1 level, the second month is for the A2 level, and the final month is focused on the exam preparation. Yeah. And there's a discussion in the Netherlands if you need A2 or B1 level for the inburgerings exam. But Aneta, this hasn't changed yet, right?
Not yet. No, it's still the A2 level, but they said they will change it. So
they have been saying that since already 2 years, I think, but it's not changed. So people usually need, from what we know, A2 level in order to.
It's still at A2 level for the inburgerings exam.
To get this exam, yes. That was it from our side. We are open to read your questions and interact with you now. Feel free. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. I'm going to we don't really have too many questions. One question that we did receive, let me just quickly have a look here. Is, will the teacher be Dutch, and is it a one-to-one teaching or group?
So when you learn with us, you have two options, like either to be in a group of 2 or 3 people, or to have a one-to-one lesson. We work with 6 different Dutch teachers. The most of them are 100% Dutch. Aneta, who is the responsible of the department and the most experienced, she's half. Aneta, you can tell it yourself. Are you Dutch?
Yes, I'm half Greek, half Dutch. I have a Dutch mother. Mm-hmm. But I lived in the Netherlands for many years, went to school, to university. And I'm working more than 25 years now with Dutch language.
So it also depends on, because there's a question, like, how do we match people with teachers? We have some criteria. If you want to go for the Invergence exam, you usually work with Aneta because she's the most experienced. If you want to learn through Greek, because some people want that, then you can work with Aneta. So it really depends on what you need, on what your background is, and or if for example you're in a group of 2 or 3 people, we match you sometimes according to your mother tongue. Because if you're a Spanish-speaking person, let's say, and it happens that we have another Spanish-speaking person to match you with, it's helpful because people with the same mother tongue often have same questions and challenges while learning Dutch.
Perfect. Emily asked if we can please put the QR code up again.
Okay, sure.
Back a few slides.
Sure, yes.
And then, what was the one? Let's see. Okay.
I see an interesting
Now we've got some
comment.
questions. That's good. I'm glad. Okay. Let's see. What is the cost for the course?
Okay, this is something that I don't know by heart, but I would be happy to exchange an email with you and give you more information about that.
Okay.
I see, if I may, I see an interesting comment here from Alexandra about employer provided me with a Prem Duolingo subscription. Alexander, if you're open to share your experience, because I've heard many things about Duolingo, and I would really love to hear how you experience that, if this subscription helps you to learn.
Perfect. While we wait for him to reply, I have another question here. Is it better to practice with another learner or a native Dutch speaker?
So if you compare having a Dutch speaker, is he a teacher or not? That's important to know. Aneta, I will share my thoughts, and then I will give you the space to share your experience. So if you just try to learn with native speakers, they don't have the patience to teach you. And you have to at least have a B1 level in order to be able to participate in a discussion. If not, it's not very motivating for you and for them to engage in such a discussion with someone who struggles to speak. If they are native and they are teachers, amazing.
Yes.
Now, if you're a learner and you want to participate in a group, if it's a good match, it helps a lot. Aneta, how do you experience it, having people on one-to-one or in a group setting? How do they experience it as well? What do you think?
Well, one-to-one is also very good because then you can, you can follow the needs of the students, and you can work faster many times. But if you have a little bit the same level in a group, you learn also from the mistakes of the other students. So when you have 2 people in a group, they learn also from each other. And we ask many times if they make a mistake, if the other can explain what the mistake is, what is wrong, what is correct. So yeah, both ways are very good, but it depends what the student wants.
Yes, definitely.
Perfect. Are the lessons online?
Yes.
Yes, 100%.
Yes.
Okay.
There's a question in Greek here. May I read it?
Yes, of course. Go for
I
it.
will actually translate it. So Konstantina says that she has A2 level in Dutch, but she doesn't feel that she can speak or understand. What should she do? So sometimes we say I have A1 level or A2 level. I'm really wondering, is that evaluated somehow with an official past paper? Let's say yes. Let's say that you really have A2 level. It means that you're capable of speaking at this level. For example, ordering in a restaurant, interacting with some people at a certain level with a certain extent of a vocabulary. Maybe you say that you cannot speak So the expectation that you should have from yourself, Constantina, has to be to comply with the expectation of A2 level. Of course, you cannot share your opinion in detail or present a webinar because A2 level is just the second level, it's still beginner's level. We set the expectations according to what the guidelines of each level say. And something, I will close that with the following, that it's very frequent that we have a level, let's say A2, and we can understand the written speech, but we cannot speak at this level because the traditional method doesn't help us to practice the speaking. That's why please keep the talk to the window practice and strategy, and also be aware of very large groups. When you're with 10 other people with different mother tongues in a group, you cannot learn that efficiently. This is what my experience says.
And I always say, try to speak. Don't be afraid. You will make mistakes, but it doesn't matter. And listen to the language, to the radio. That also helps a lot. And but try to speak. Yes.
You will grow
If
through
you make
that.
mistakes, it doesn't matter. They understand you, and they will try to help you. Maybe.
Perfect. I don't know if my camera is working or not.
We cannot see you yet.
No? Okay. It's freaking out a little bit, but I'm going to carry on.
We can hear you. It's okay.
Perfect. Yes. Is there a lot of homework to do on your own outside of the lessons?
So the question will come from my side and is the following. How much time are you eager to spend and to invest in your study? So I give you the time to think about that. And then I will add that what we'll ask people is to study from 3 to 6 hours per week. And the study is focused on the materials that we give. So we guide you how to do it. We ask you to study at least 3 hours per week because we saw that this is the average time needed in order to reach the levels, as we mentioned, like in 6 months you go B2. Aneta, from your experience with your students, how much time do they spend on their study on a weekly basis?
Well, it depends of the student and how many time they have at home. But I believe they spend at least 3 hours during the week. At least 3 hours preparing their speaking activities for the lesson, doing their homework. Yes, I believe they do.
Some people,
yeah,
they cannot continue with you.
3 hours or more. Yeah.
Yeah. Some people sometimes go for like a slower pace. They say, I'm okay even reaching B1 in 6 months because this is already better than the average. So you can also go slower if you need it. Or
it really depends on the student, yeah. And if they're very busy or they're all working jobs, or having children, family.
Exactly.
We have another question. Okay, the first question was, is it online, which you've already answered, but is each course broken into each level? Example, would we sign up for A1 first?
You'll sign up for A1 first, so from A0 to A1, and then we work with trimesters. Like you can also have 1 month of lessons. You will reach A1 at the end of the month or the 5th week. We usually work in trimesters, so you can see real progress. Because if in 3 months you reach B1, B1 is a good and it's an intermediate level. So we usually do it like that, either trimesters or semesters.
Perfect. And then I see we have another question with regards to the recording. So I know I already mentioned this at the beginning of the webinar, but for all of those of you who have joined the webinar tonight or have signed up to the webinar but weren't able to attend, you will be receiving an email with the link to the webinar. I think we have time for one more. Well, this is not really Okay, well, I'll read it to you. Is it recommended to spend those 3 hours at once or broken up over the days of the week? Can 30 minutes a day be enough?
If you make it, if you spend 30 minutes per day, it sounds like building a habit. If you can do it, it's excellent. It's excellent. We mainly ask you to study the speaking activities, to prepare the speaking activities first, and we explain you how to do so. But personally, for me, if you just split your study time in two during the week, it's also great. So it's really up to each one of us how it works better. Aneta, what do you think about that?
Yes, I think it's better not to do many people do last minute and then they think, oh, I have a lot of things to do. It's better to split it up. Yes, to say, oh, I'm working on Monday a little bit, maybe Wednesday, Friday is my lesson. Maybe I can repeat everything. And yes, it's better to split it up.
I agree.
All right. Well, I think that's all the questions. And
I can see one more here.
Yeah.
It says Mizuki, if I'm pronouncing it correctly. I was just going to ask how to know if we are mispronouncing something. I like these ideas. So I think that Mizuki, you mean if you try to just study by yourself, how do you know if you don't pronounce correctly? So if you don't have a teacher or a native speaker to correct you, what you can do is to open Google Chrome, Google Translate on Google Chrome, and there you pronounce something, use a microphone. So record your voice, and if you pronounce it correctly, it will be written correctly, the word, for example, that you pronounce. If not, it's not going to be, it will be a disaster, but it will be funny. So it's something, it's a nice process, and a nice effort to do. So just use this tool at the beginning. This is how you know if you mispronounce it or not.
Thank you very much once again, Anita and Sophia.
Thank you for having us. Yeah.
Thank you. Yes.
It was really good. And thank you to everybody at home. Feel free to follow us on social media. With that being said, I will let everybody get back to their evening. Thank you very much. And I wish you all a great evening. Bye.
Fijne avond.
Fijne
avond. Doei.